Hello and thank you so much for joining me tonight. Tonight is Saturday night crafting and I apologize because I missed Wednesday crafting due to being exhausted from COVID. I am now over COVID, woohoo! And we are back to crafting and back to normal energy levels and I'm so excited. So tonight we've got a nice easy technique. I was short on time again because the kids were off of school again on Friday for an inset day, so I was a little bit pushed for time this week. Tonight we're going to use mica powder or colored explosion powders, whatever you've got in your stash we can use. If you've got mica powder you will need to set it. If you've got one of these kind of colored options you won't have to worry about it. They should be able to set themselves. Now I'm going to share with you 3 different brands just to show you kind of do it with all 3. We're starting with some black cardstock and all we need is water and the colored powder. Now depending on what color the mica is in your pigment powder will determine what color will kind of show up on the black cardstock. So for the starting, you can see I've got this sort of pink color, which is gorgeous. This is Pretty Gets Gritty explosion powders. They are my favorite by far. They are unbelievable. They always pull through. They never ever flake off. They never rub off. They are amazing. So these are my favorite ones by far, but they do tend to have 2 pigments. So they either have a silver pigment to it, like this one, or a gold pigment to it. Now there is a Mars one which has more of a copper pigment to it, but they tend to sort of have those 2 to 3 pigments as the mica powder color. So you can see here I'm getting a nice silver. Even though my color is pink, I'm getting a sort of silver mica powder on the background. So we're essentially making our own pearlescent cardstock, and that's what we're doing tonight. I'm going to share 2 different ways of using that pearlescent cardstock to kind of make it pop on your card. So always make sure that it's nice and dry before you carry on making your projects, or else it's going to be soggy and it's going to rip or wreck in the process. So this is fully dry. You can see I'm rubbing it with my hand and we are getting no mica powder lifting off of that cardstock, which is what we want. If you're using straight up mica powder, make sure you can set it, make sure you set it, and you can set it with something like hairspray. So here's the same kind of thing but with the Tonic brand. So this is Tonic Studios and their Shimmer Powder, Nuvo Shimmer Powder. So again, I'm just squishing some into a little container. These happen to be ones that I bought online, I think on Amazon, but you could use your Tupperware containers, whatever you've got. And then I go ahead and add in some water. This is all I did for the first one that I shared with you. I just got a little excited and forgot to hit record and I didn't share this process with you. But it is just water and the powder. And most of the powders you will find will have a setting agent in them, so they shouldn't rub off and they shouldn't flake off. If they do, again, just use some hairspray to kind of set them. So this one here has got a pink mica powder in it. So you can see the cardstock has got a pink shimmer to it, which is quite fun. This is just a nice, easy way to kind of add a bit of pizzazz to your cardstock without having to buy expensive pearlescent cardstock. It's not perfect. You will see some lines from your paintbrush strokes, but that's why we're going to do a few techniques with it and just kind of share with you how you can use those little bits of card in your backgrounds. Now, you do not need to make up this much. This will last a long time. I can put the lid on and save it for a little while. All you really need to do is put a little blob of powder onto a piece of acetate, something plastic, non-porous that won't absorb it, and then you can add your water and kind of make it as you go. I made up little pots so it was easier for you to see what I was doing. So here, this one's got a more pink, like a more magenta kind of tone to it, but this one I struggle with. The Cosmic Shimmer ones I struggle with. They tend to flake off a bit, so you do get a little bit of it coming off. However, when it was all finished and said and done, it wasn't flaking off too much. Now here's a blue just to share with you another one. These are the scraps that I had, and I thought I would just use them up, use up those scrap bits of card up, and I do end up using them in the end for the rest of my card project, so it worked out really well. So here's a blue mica powder one. They're just a gorgeous way to kind of dress up your black cardstock and have slightly different look to your cards. Now I've got all 4 of them ready to go. They're all perfectly dry and we can go ahead and get creative with these panels now. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do some die cutting. So I had a little bit of an Alina crafts haul come in yesterday, so I got really excited and I wanted to use up some of these bits. This is a 5.5 by 4.25 front panel die. The nice thing with Alina's shop is it's quite a good price point. It's from China, and she does ship in quite good time. I usually get it within 2 to 3 weeks, and I'm in the UK. So I've gone ahead and used that panel. I ran it through twice, forward and backwards, and it die cut out beautifully with nothing stuck in it. The second thing you can do with these cardstock panels is you can go ahead and emboss them. And with that shimmer on it, it really makes that embossing pop off the card. So I won't make a card with this one, but I wanted to share with you, you could either die cut it or you could go ahead and emboss it with an embossing folder. And you get such a gorgeous look. So you can see it's just plain black on the back side, and it is gorgeous on the front, and it is not rubbing off. So that is really, really fun. So I thought I would go and make a card. I cut my card base to be 1/8 of an inch on all sides, slightly bigger, so I could glue my panel down on the top and have a nice little border. So I just take my Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive glue, which is my favorite glue of choice. It is super tacky, dries clear, doesn't leave a mess. It's my go-to glue. So I've glued that panel down, and I've got another die set and stamp set from Alina Crafts, and I'm going to use one of these dies here as sort of my focal point on my card. I don't want too much going on my card because I've already got this amazing background. I don't really want to take away from it. Another stamp set and die set in my collection is this one here. It comes with 2 sets of stamps and then the matching die where you can stamp out all the stamps in one go and line up the panel die over top, and then it cuts out all your sentiments ready for you. I will of course do my best to link all the products I used today in my description box down below, so if you want to check out any of the things I use, they should all be there. However, I'm really good at forgetting things, so just pop me a little comment and remind me if I've forgotten anything. Now once you die cut them out, they all just kind of pop out really nice and easy. It's a nice straightforward edged die, and then you've got a whole bunch of sentiments that you can tuck aside and use at a later date. And just kind of have a stash of sentiments ready to go. These are nice and thin. They're about 5 millimeters wide roughly, each one of them. So Alina's also got some double-sided adhesive, which is the perfect size to go behind it. It's my go-to sentiment strip foam tape, and it works really nice. It's this stuff here. It's dead sticky, and it always fits right behind my little sentiments. So I just cut out missing or miss you to go underneath happy birthday, because a lot of the times I send these cards to my friends overseas, back in Canada where home is, and sometimes I like to just say I miss you because it's quite hard living far away from the people I grew up with, my family and my friends. Now, not wanting to keep, I wasn't intentionally keeping in line with using all Alina's products, but I do love all the embellishments she's got in her shop, and these are the little flat back, clear plastic sort of teardrop or water drop type of gems, and they go really well. So they look white right now, but my glue dries clear, and then it's like a little droplets on the top. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's tutorial. I would love it if you liked and subscribed, and I will hopefully see you on Wednesday. Take care and have a fantastic weekend. Bye!